Journalists who work as foreign correspondents know the risks they're taking. I know I did. We train for it too, but live in hope nothing bad will ever happen. But as one of my former colleagues at NBC said to me once, at some point you know your number is going to come up. It almost did this week for NBC's chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel. He is one of the most respected and seasoned reporters out there. He and his crew were kidnapped in Syria, and for 5 long days no one heard from them until they made an amazing and lucky escape. Our Washington bureau chief Eric Sorensen has the story.
This is one happy and remarkably lucky television news crew. NBC News correspondent Richard Engel and 2 colleagues were freed overnight after being kidnapped in Syria 5 days ago. News of the kidnapping had been kept under wraps.
The last 5 days are some days that we would rather forget.
Engel had been covering Syrian rebels in places like Aleppo.
The rebels could only provide the most basic of first aid for their wounded.
Last week, he and his crew were ambushed by pro-government militia, their escort killed. They were blindfolded, moved from place to place, and terrorized.
They made us choose which one of us would be shot first, and when we refused, there were mock shootings.
They were to be traded for prisoners held by rebels, but then a stunning break. While moving them, their captors ran into a surprise rebel checkpoint.
The kidnappers saw this checkpoint, started a gunfight with it. 2 of the kidnappers were killed. We climbed out of the vehicle and the rebels took us.
The rebels spirited them to safety in Turkey. Syria is one of the most dangerous war zones to cover. The Assad government has barred most foreign media. Here, ITV Britain's John Irvine, his cameraman, and several rebels were nearly bombed.
The rebels have the numbers and the motivation, but the Syrian army still has most of the firepower.
It is so great to see you.
Engel's crew had an even closer call. They thought it was all over.
I was prepared to die many times, and
moving was the hardest part.
it was just disconcerting to move blindfolded from house to house.
And you think they're going to be taking you outside
and
to
in a vehicle
execute
that you don't know for 5 days.
Other journalists haven't been so lucky. 28 have died, plus others in captivity for trying to tell the world what's happening in Syria. Eric Sorensen, Global News, Washington.